I just saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and you bet your ass it brought the madness. My mind is literally blown in every way possible because I am still, hours later, stuck trying to take in everything I just watched. And to be clear, I am saying that in a good way because, man, I did have a good time watching this movie, and in some cases, I had a more interesting time watching this movie because I was just so enamored by what was going on. Guys, real quickly, I want you all to comment down below what you thought of the movie, and if you have seen it already, please do not spoil anything. This is a non-spoiler review. Don't ruin it for anybody. If you liked the movie and you liked what I had to say, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. I would very much appreciate that. This movie picks up right after Spider-Man No Way Home, where we last saw our main man, Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, of course. Let me just say right off the bat, everybody in this movie is absolutely fantastic from an acting perspective. Benedict brings it as he always does. He, to this day, is in my mind one of the most underrated actors, and in my mind is maybe the best person that Marvel could have ever picked to play this character. We also get some old and new cast coming back. Rachel McAdams reprises her role as Christine, and here she is actually given a lot to do, and so it was nice seeing her character come back, even if after seeing the movie there is a potential possibility that we might not even see her again in the future, and that is not meant to be a spoiler since we don't really know what to expect. Xochitl Gomez, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is playing the newest member here in America Chavez, and I actually thought she was really nice here in this movie for being somebody who is new to the MCU and playing a character who has a very powerful skill set. And then we get some more supporting roles coming back from a guy like Benedict Wong, who is always just one of the best characters in the MCU, and I think not a lot of people like to talk about him here in the MCU, and of course, he's just a really good actor, so I really liked him, of course. Chiwetel Ejiofor makes his return as Mordo, and here he plays a role that many people are probably not going to expect here in this film, so I'm just going to prepare you guys all for that if you haven't seen him. Elizabeth Olsen is absolutely incredible here in this movie, and I know I'm hearing a lot of people say that she could get a potential Oscar nomination as a supporting actress. I don't want to go that far, but I will say this: she is for sure a dark horse for a nomination because she truly is really good here in this movie. In some cases, a lot of the time, this movie feels like her movie, akin to how a movie like Infinity War was kind of like Thanos' movie. She is menacing and scary, and yes, it doesn't go without saying, but she is extremely violent here. And what a segue that is, because man, of all the technical stuff here in this movie, it is a sight to behold, because like I just said, this movie might be the most violent and bloody MCU film we have had yet, especially from an imagery perspective. I mean, I'm not saying that there was any like R-rated stuff in here, but there was some stuff in this movie that was borderline like R-rated level stuff. This is by far and none a hard PG-13, so you know, be skeptical on whether or not you would want to take a younger kid to see this movie. The CGI and effects are really well done here, even if at times it did feel like there were too many on screen to a point where I had to make sure I kept track of what was going on. Visually speaking, this is maybe one of the nicest looking Marvel movies we have had to date. And make no mistake about it, when we are talking about the directing here, which of course is from Sam Raimi, one of the most iconic horror directors of the modern era, this is truly a Sam Raimi movie. As somebody who has actually not seen a whole lot of his work other than of course the original 3 Spider-Man movies, of which he directed, this really was a very interesting film to watch from a directing perspective, since at some point I do plan on going back and watching his Evil Dead movies. If I had to critique anything from this movie, I by no means think that this is a flawless movie. I did have some things that I had to pick out to touch upon. For one, there is a fight scene at the beginning that did feel a few minutes too long, but not overly long to the point where I got annoyed by it. And while I thought this movie was perfect in length in terms of just being over 2 hours long, the middle portion of this movie is definitely very much a place where the movie slows down quite a bit, and it feels like it's dragging a little bit with a lot of exposition, but very much needed exposition at that. Stuff that we did need to know in order to get through the rest of the film. And I am not here to say that this is necessarily a criticism, but at times I will admit it did feel like there was too much happening on screen to really follow along, and it wasn't over the top to where I just had to take a break and it took me out of the movie. And I'm not sure, or I should say, I'm sure there are probably some plot holes they could have been fixed on and added to probably 10 to 15 minutes of screen time, but really, that's neither here nor there, since I am not in the position to look at this movie from a microscopic lens and look at every minute detail. I'm sure if a comic book lore nerd sat down and just went through this whole movie and tried to decipher if everything made sense, I'm sure they probably would be able to take away just about 90 to 95% of the movie, and then maybe 5% of it is a little bit out of line. But that's neither near here nor there. But other than that, guys, I really did enjoy this movie after only one watch, and I am definitely going to have to watch it for a second time to really take in a lot of the things that it took me a while to really truly grasp. The post-credit scenes, while I'm sure there are a lot of people who will say it didn't do it for them a whole lot, it is Marvel at the end of the day, and it's always nice seeing a post-credit scene from this. But even here, they're not necessarily the greatest post-credit scenes in the world, but one of them for sure does open up a very interesting idea as to what could happen in the future. So do stick around for both, if you want to, of course. But I have nothing more to say, and overall, while I don't really want to try and do ratings anymore, I would definitely recommend people go and watch this movie and give it a shot and give your own opinion on it. And like I said in the beginning, please do comment down below what you thought about the movie. I would love to hear your thoughts, so maybe we can have a conversation about this in a deeper, broader discussion. That's going to do it for me. I cannot wait for the next movie, which of course is Thor: Love and Thunder, coming out in July for the MCU, of course. I can't wait to see you guys all then for that one. I hope you all had a great rest of your weekend and a fantastic day and a great Mother's Day, of course, and I will see you all in the next one.